Mami, basically the court is done declaring this particular crucial judgment here this morning, and in fact the arguments in court were very interesting, but want to hear from the aide of Chairman Wontumi, who himself has always been coming to court with him almost every time. We just want to get a few words from him. He doesn't want to talk to us, but we'll try as much as possible to get a word from him at this particular point. He's been crucial supporting Wontumi almost every time that he comes to court, but he doesn't want to engage the media. Clearly, from his demeanor, he looks quite disappointed at this particular point, knowing that his man is going to prison at the moment. But let's try and see if he would say just a few words here at the High Court after Judge Audrey Kokovite delivered this judgment just a few minutes ago. It took more than an hour reading the judgment here. And Mami, in Criminal Code 4, the whole process began when Charles Boache, who was in court holding the brief of Atachia, and basically on his feet, moving the motion. I mean, basically explaining that they are in court today in order to inform the court about the fact that they filed a motion for a deferment of the judgment because they were seeking constitutional interpretation of some provisions of the Minerals and Mining Act. And they say that if these provisions are not interpreted properly, it means that their client will not be sentenced fairly. But the court dismissed that particular motion. Another thing that happened in court was that the lawyer also informed the judge about the fact that Atachia is currently out of the jurisdiction, and for that reason they would pray to the courts for the ruling or for the motion to be moved to a day after Wednesday, 22nd July. But the judge simply dismissed that as well, and in her view in the court, she basically said that Atachia was in court the last time when the court sat, and in fact he initially prayed for more time for him to familiarize himself with the case, the proceedings that went on before he took over this particular case. The court granted him that particular time, and that Atachia was well aware that the court was going to deliver this judgment. He should have told the court that he wouldn't be around today, but he never did that. And in fact, according to Audrey Kokovise, an experienced lawyer judge here at the High Court, she said if Atachia had told the court that he wouldn't be around today, then the consultations would have gone on, and in order to set an appropriate day for this particular judgment to happen, but he never did that. So it was incompetent, it was smooth lawyers or for Atachia to even write to the court and telling the court that he wouldn't be around today. So the judge simply dismissed that particular letter as well, and then went on to read the judgment. It took more than an hour basically reading this particular motion, and when she read the motion, the judgment at some point, she clearly said that based on the evidence adduced by the prosecution, Chairman Wontumi was found guilty on the charges that were slapped against him. And Mami, and the prosecution called 4 witnesses. The defense, that's Wontumi's lawyers themselves, also called 5 witnesses, including Chairman Wontumi himself today. And the judge basically said that the prosecution was able to adduce sufficient evidence that meant that Chairman Wontumi would be convicted. When she was done reading the judgment, basically, so once she was done reading the judgment, the counsel in court today, who was holding the brief of Samuel Atachian, Charles Boachi, was on his feet, and he sought litigation. I mean, he sought to mitigate the process, in order for the court to reduce the number of years that Wontumi would get at this particular point. He did that. He was so nervous whilst trying to plead the court to reduce the number of years. His hands were shaky in that particular process. He did that after a few minutes, and then another person who also rose on his feet, he also mentioned the fact that he wanted to explain to the court that Chairman Wontumi has a lot of businesses, and for that reason, if Chairman Wontumi is eventually sentenced to so many years, that could affect all of that.